Negative territory today. Yesterday we gained 0.3%. We were hoping for a little bit of a rally given the fact that we've seen a bit of a sell-off over the last few sessions. Give us an update on the volumes for today.
Hi, Elena. Yeah, on the balls, we actually saw some negativity come into the market. I think generally people are just trying to adopt a wait for the best price mood to enter into market. But I mean, on the flip, I mean, so far so good for this week. It's been on a positive trend so far on a weekly basis. It's as an uptrend so far. On the gainer side, we actually saw a total of 34 stocks actually gaining on the exchange, while 30 losing out. But 10 on the market capitalization of the stocks that actually made the gains, they are not the huge movers, so we didn't see that price reflected in the closing values on the exchange. Market closed at 0.23% down, 25,170 points. We expect that we might see some slight depreciation, but I would say on the take for the week, we would actually see a positive turnout for the NSE for this week.
Bi-weekly Forex auction coming through in today's session, and we saw more demand than there was supply, because around $267 million were demanded. We only saw the central bank selling around 250 million at around 138.75 Naira. Give us an update on this, because this is the second time in 2 weeks that we've been seeing more demand than supply.
Yeah, I mean, expectedly, we would have thought that this demand would come in. Normally it should come in. It's not really like something strange out of what the market would have expected. A bit of the touch might have been what the amount that was offered at the auction on Monday. Would have thought the central bank would have done a little bit more than the 200 that was on offer. So the demand, what was expected, it's just like it started coming in like we expected, and we've seen the results of the auction. But interestingly to notice that the auction figures, the rate at the auction actually stayed stable for the week. So in as much as the demand has been maybe up to like 110% above what was offered, we've actually seen the auction coming out stable at 148.75 for both auctions for this week. Yes, some pressures coming in, like I said, expected. We had a trickle of oil companies inflows between the two auctions. That's yesterday. I guess that's what actually tempered the rate to stay at the current levels. Some pressures might come into the rate for the remainder of this week, but as of next week we expect positivity and the Naira to actually claw back some gains that it would have lost before the close of this week.
All right, claw back some of those numbers there. What are you expecting? We're seeing it around 150.7 to the US dollar. We know that there's a lot of dollar demand from those gasoline importers and other corporates as well, and this is expected to taper off towards the end of the month, but we've pretty much been oscillating around those levels, around 149.50 to 150.7, around there. Do you see us breaking those ranges anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. I think Naira has actually proved a strong support at 150, 149 levels. Has actually been a very good support for the Naira. I don't think it's going to break that anytime soon. I mean, time soon might be in the next one month to 1.5 months. But I think it might actually push up. I don't see the Naira getting up to the 151 levels. No, I don't think so. I think time for expected dollar liquidity from oil company flows might actually help to reduce the pressure on the demand pressure on the dollar, and would actually begin to see the Naira maybe float back to the 150, 40, 50 levels, or even on even lower than that. Big rumor around town is that the state firm is actually going to inject some liquidity. So if we see that, if that actually comes into play, then it will actually.
Nwabueze, just very quickly, Forex reserves up to $38 billion in August after falling slightly in July to around $37 billion. How significant is this for the Forex market?
Well, interesting to know. I mean, some positivity, yes. Dollar 3% up from the lows of 36.9. That's good. I think in the general trend, in as much as we had some bits of fluctuation, it actually represents stability, represents some form of stability. We say the management has been pretty fine, and for the forex market, such fluctuations or dip as it happens actually turn out to be positive for the currency. I think the market is taking a good strength, looking at the reserve levels, actually interpreting it to be a stable level, and that's where the market is actually pricing.